Namaste, everyone. Welcome back. We've got a lunar eclipse full moon sitting up here, and we've got this time it's in Aquarius with the 100 healers, which is represented by this circular 100 healer stars that I'm going to go into and explain to everybody. How you guys feeling? It's been really big uh, energies going on between the two eclipses, and I'm really excited to dive in with you and have a chat about how it's all transitioning. But I've just seen some of the new stuff that's been going on. There's a couple of celebrities that have left the world during this portal time, and yeah, it's interesting to see how these karmic events can play out. So let me take you into the app. Now, as always, my name is Chelsea from Chelsea Madison Evolution Healing, and I'm very excited to be taking you through this Vedic account of the lunar eclipse full moon in Aquarius in Satabhisha Nakshatra. So let me take you in there. All right, so let's take a looky at what we can see. So you can see here we've got the full moon sitting in Aquarius near Rahu, and it needs to be within 18 degrees of either the south node, which is where we were with the Cancer eclipse, where they were sitting over here, or the lunar eclipse, where the moon is sitting here. But what's interesting about this particular full moon and lunar eclipse is that it's sandwiched the moon between a malefic Rahu, and we're not going to count the outer planet Neptune for the moment, but Saturn. So there's this pressure cooker energy that's going on for the moon this month. Now, this particular moon happens on August 28th at 2:18 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and it's a partial lunar eclipse. Depending where you are in the world, it's more likely to be on the 27th for most people on the Thursday. Like I said, Vedic Aquarius in Satabhisha, the 100 Healers star, it will be visible across North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Western Asia, and parts of Antarctica. This one won't be physically visible for Australia because it's during our daytime. Now, this last moon that I took you through, Ashlesha revealed the poison, but this moon, Satabhisha, is bringing the medicine. So solutions, revelations, understandings, clarity is what will be coming through. And this is the second part of the story. So we've had the solar eclipse and now we've got the lunar eclipse. This one's more on a mental and a mind level. So Ashlesha was all about shedding the skin, poisons, which can be used as medicines, truth coming to the surface. So my question to ask you is, over the past 2 weeks, what has been revealed to you? What have you finally been able to see clearly? Because this particular moon that we're in, the Satabhisha, is about hidden things coming to light. So we'll start to have clarity. Now, lunar eclipses, this is a full moon. It's a culmination. It's all about illuminating the manas, the mind, emotions, the subconscious, bringing things from the depth up to our conscious awareness so that we can heal them. Hidden material can rise into awareness, information realizations, perspective shifts. We can see into places that we normally could not. You cannot change what you cannot see. So this is why this is an important time. Seeing what's actually there. So as I was saying, this particular star that I have put behind me here, so it's represented by 100 stars, 100 healers, 100 flowers, or a circle that represents a void. So it allows us to see through the illusion. It reveals an imbalance, so we're able to find the cure here, looking beneath the symptoms to find the root cause. And what's interesting, I know in my own life, I was speaking to a practitioner this week about a health condition that I've had throughout my life that I haven't been able to nut it out. And they explained to me in a nutshell, that an ancestor of ours would have had this issue, and it has traveled through our family like this, and it's presenting in this way. So I got an amazing amount of clarity about something that has been bothering me for a very, very long time, since childhood. But it just goes to show, it's really interesting how these things play out. I know as I was doing research for this lunar eclipse too, was that cycles from 19 years ago can come up as well. And I did find that was relevant in my circumstances too. So this lunar eclipse in Satabhisha, it's about protection, boundaries, space, seclusion, creating space so that you can allow things to come up and out, breaking cycles. So allow that space to exist and know that you don't have to fill every opening immediately. The empty circle is part of the medicine that we are not able to receive when our hands are full, and we need to allow our hands to remain empty for the newness to be brought in. If we try to grab onto things just to fill up our plate, we have no idea what's being brought to us that is healing or a solution or clarity. And if we try to fill that space, we might, you know, deter ourselves from a blessing that's on its way. Now, this Rahu Saturn connection that I was talking about, Rahu actually rules the star of Satabhisha. It's close to the moon. Rahu is obsessive. It amplifies, it can create disruption, it disrupts comfort. It will expose what we have avoided. It will push us beyond familiar patterns. And Rahu has a way of making something impossible to ignore. So in the end, it's kind of like this like friction point that comes up until we realize and we get clarity from it's the what is it, the gemstone that's at the bottom of the mud that has to be mucked up in the water so that it can come up to the surface, that we, or the bubbles that come up from the bottom of the pond, so to speak. Trying to find the right analogy. Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius, so it also plays a really important role with this eclipse too. Retrograde in Pisces is all about discipline and responsibility, reality. It's looking backwards and inwards, so taking the time to meditate and listen to our mind. Speaking of which, I have done a meditation for this particular lunar eclipse. You can find it on my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel, or TikTok. And it will help you ground into these energies and find the clarity that you may be seeking through a guided meditation with Reiki. So yeah, past lessons and conditioning will be able to come up as a result. So the quote I've got here is, "I know I can't go back, but I cannot see what's ahead yet, and that's uncomfortable, but it doesn't mean that you're going in the wrong way." I had a vision come to me while I was preparing this reading, and it was feeling like you're in the jungle with a machete and you're like hacking away. And in my head, I had my son with me, and you're just like trying to get through this jungle of all these challenges and obstacles that keep coming up in your way. And then eventually, like, you don't know how long you've been hacking for, you thirsty, you're tired, all this stuff, and then you don't know what's directly in front of you. You can't see the destination. You don't know how much further you have to go. And then you clear one more piece, and suddenly you see the oasis or the beach or the campfire or the community. So we want clarity before we walk through the experience. However, life often gives it to us later. We look back and connect the dots and finally understand what the experience was teaching us. And I did say this to somebody I care about deeply yesterday, that a soul family member, that some of this year in particular, so many challenging obstacles, and to look back, getting closer to the end of the year, and I understand now why everything had to happen the way that it did, as always, and that we were always being guided, we were always protected and supported, and it always made sense. So my mentor, I can hear her voice in my head saying, choose peace, like peace is your only option. And it's so true. Choose peace like peace is the only option, because while you're moving through those waves, it is guiding and it's leading you in the right direction. So with this Aquarius, Leo identity piece, this moon in Aquarius opposite Sun, Mercury, and Ketu sitting in Magha, which is all about rulers. It's asking, Aquarius asks us, where do we belong? So it's all about community, collective, the future, being different, standing out, being unique, versus who am I? Identity, self-expression, visibility. And then we've also got this energy of Ketu detachment. So we're releasing old identities and what has already served its purpose. So we need to ask, look at the person, you, who entered this chapter and the person who's standing here now, especially through this eclipse season. They're not the same. Where are we still carrying identities, expectations, relationships, or beliefs that belong to an earlier version of ourselves? What no longer represents who you already are and who you're becoming? Now, Jupiter is exalted in Cancers. We've been speaking about the last couple of months. It's got the energy of hope and faith, intuition, wisdom, and it's shining an aspect on Saturn, which has energies connected to this moon at this time. So there's a lot of support here where Saturn and Jupiter will be working together to help these realizations come to light. Small actions taken from what we're learning right now can create long-term change. So you don't need to have the whole map. You don't need to know exactly how you're going to get from A to Z. You just need to know what's the next step. Venus is debilitated at this moment in Virgo, and just being aware that things like relationships, values, finances, security, trying not to pick things apart or overanalyze or be critical. If you notice that your emotions are high, slow down, observe before reacting. This is not a time to get into debates or arguments with others. Just allow this to pass, because Venus is at 25 degrees. It will very soon be in its own sign of Libra, which is going to be a much happier place for Venus to be. How to work with this eclipse. So we're going to observe, we're going to release and receive. Meditation, prayer, journaling, rest. You may be feeling really tired. Silence, energy healing, the meditation that I've made for you guys. Time away from noise or digital stimulation and allowing to notice what is surfacing for you. And then when you receive an answer as it comes through, it may not come in a way that you expect. So be open to allowing expected forms of receiving to come through, but also unexpected. That pay attention to what's actually happening, because there is information coming through in that. And if we are so fixated on it must happen this way, that we might actually block things from coming to us in ways that we least expect. 4 journal prompts for this lunar eclipse. What do I know now that I didn't know at the beginning of this eclipse season? What pattern, relationship, belief, or behavior am I finally able to see clearly? What no longer represents the person I am becoming? If I stop demanding the entire map and needing clarity, what is the next step I already know I can take? Now, as always, I choose, I pull out a couple of cards for the reading before I even start researching. And this month I got Master Your Power from Joanne Antoon's Wise Woman Oracle deck. And it's actually Joanne's card, is the limitless is your potential, infinite is your strength. That while we cannot see in the dark and that the answers are still coming to us, you are strong and your potential is infinite. The other card that I pulled was Celestite, Knowing. And what I love about this is that I pulled a couple of cards a couple of days ago and I thought, you know, I'm going to pull them again. And I pulled the same card again. So clearly it was meant to be. It's all about knowing. So the clarity that's meant to come through. I just love that it's always 100% spot on every time we do these readings. So if ever, and last month, last fortnight when I offered to do these free mini readings, I pull little cards for clients as well in those ones, and I love to share that, and they're always accurate. So if you would like one of those, please feel free to comment below and say, I would love a card, and a little bit of information on this eclipse for yourself as well. So trust your wisdom, patience, silence, love, acceptance. Think and know before acting. Divine timing, divine plan. So the affirmation is, I know, I trust, I serve the divine plan, and let go and let God or the universe. The blue whale is the animal that is connected to that particular card, and it's all about ancient wisdom. You know, the last moon was all about ancestral healing, emotional healing, intuition, using your inner voice, listening to your inner voice, releasing emotional burdens, having authentic communication, vast potential, and peaceful strength. So know your power, trust what you know, and release what is no longer yours to carry. As we come to the end of the reading, we have September 11th is new moon in Vedic Leo Purva Falguni, which is the star of fortune, sitting with Ketu. So as we look back on the whole journey, we had Ashlesha, which was shedding. This moon, we have Satabhisha, which is healing and creating space. And Purva Falguni, when we go in there, it will be emerging. So the space that is being created, allow it to be so that you can see what wants to grow there. Coming back to the jungle metaphor that I was sharing with you, you don't need to see the oasis from where you're standing. Clear what's in front of you and work with what you know, and trust what is being revealed. There is meaning in all of this, that there is good that will come from this, and you just need to trust and have faith. You know, sit in that energy and allow yourself to have faith and trust, and use that Jupiter energy. That there is good coming, and then any of those seeds or those actions that you plant now can make ripple effects into your future. So check out this month's lunar eclipse free Reiki guided meditation, and I'll leave you with this quote: "You cannot change what you can't see. Let the truth reveal itself. Trust what you know, and allow the space it creates to become part of the medicine." I'm sending you so much love, and I look forward to seeing you on September the 11th for the next new moon in Purva Falguni in Leo. Take care. See you soon. Bye.